Welcome back. You're watching Global Lens on News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. France is all set to ban Muslim abayas, a full-length, loose-fitting robe worn by some Muslim women. This is going to be banned in state schools ahead of the upcoming school season. The French Education Minister Gabriel Attal said in an interview that he would ban Muslim schoolgirls from wearing the abaya in classrooms. He argued that the government violates France's strict secular laws in education. France has enforced a strict ban on religious signs in state schools as 19th century laws removed any traditional Catholic influence from public education. However, the country has struggled to update guidelines to deal with its Muslim minority. The education minister said, "I have decided that the abaya can no longer be worn in schools. When you walk into a classroom, you should not be able to identify the pupil's religion just by looking at them." Abaya is a long, baggy garment worn to comply with Islamic beliefs on modest dress. The education minister said he will give clear rules at the national level to school heads just as they return to classes nationwide from the 4th of September. Attal went on to say secularism means the freedom to emancipate oneself through school. He described abaya as a religious gesture aimed at testing the resistance of the republic towards the secular sanctuary that schools must constitute. Now, according to media reports in France, there have been tensions within schools over abayas between teachers and parents. Wearing of signs or outfits by which students ostensibly show a religious affiliation in schools was banned by law in France all the way back in 2004. This includes large crosses, Jewish kippas and Islamic headscarves. Reports say the CFCM, a national body encompassing many Muslim associations, has objected to this decision and argued that items of clothing alone are not a religious sign. France, known for implementing a strict prohibition on religious symbols within state schools and government buildings, has encountered multiple challenges in modernizing its directives to address the country's expanding Muslim minority. While right-wing politicians say we called for a ban on abayas in our schools many times, left-wing politicians have criticized the government's move, saying it amounts to policing of clothing, it is unconstitutional and against the founding principles of France's secular values. Some have even said the ban is symptomatic of the government's obsessive rejection of Muslims.
We know that our school is constantly being tested. In recent months, as we know, there has been a considerable increase in attacks on secularism, particularly with the wearing of religious dress such as abayas or kameez, which have appeared or in some cases taken root in certain schools. The firmness of the response in schools is being put to the test by these new phenomena. In the face of occasional blows, attacks and attempts at destabilization, we must and will stand united. Standing together means being clear and have occasion to say it. The abaya has no place in our schools and neither do religious symbols.
Well, is this likely to trigger tensions in France? We'll have to wait to find out. All right, let's now move on to our next story, which is from North Korea. A bomb has rocked North Korea's capital in what's been described as an assassination attempt on Kim Jong-un. Security around him has tightened since this blast, which reports say happened in Pyongyang sometime in the past 2 months, and has led to Kim Jong-un feeling uneasy about his safety. The politician, who's been the supreme leader of North Korea since 2011, has imported new explosive detection equipment and added briefcase-wielding guards to his security team. That's what reports say. Michael Madden, a leading expert on North Korea, says there has certainly been a tightening of security measures around Kim Jong-un. These are known as ballistic bags or ballistic briefcases. They're made of carbon fiber. In addition to being bulletproof, they also protect against tasers and other electronic-based ordnance. If the spotters radio the guards about suspicious activity or if a shot is fired, they can raise the bags to protect Kim Jong-un. These bags also unfold. There is either Velcro or a clasp which can be undone, which turns the bags into a kind of fabric shield. So if someone takes a shot at Kim, they would open these bags, surround and then cover him until he can be tossed into a car. He says Kim Jong-il, the North Korean leader's father and predecessor, had equipped his guards with ballistic briefcases too. In his case, however, they served a dual purpose, carrying medical equipment, including a portable defibrillator for the ailing tyrant. The analyst highlighted that there were two occasions in April when Kim's bodyguards carried the cases: a visit to the North Korean Space Agency and a ribbon-cutting ceremony in Pyongyang. Around that time, the Prime Minister of Japan, Fumio Kishida, had survived an assassination attempt when an explosive was thrown at him during a campaign visit. It came less than a year after Kishida's predecessor, Shinzo Abe, was gunned down. The South Korean government says Kim's public engagements so far this year are down by half. It's not clear how many people were hurt in this particular blast, but a newspaper report says that there were several casualties. The newspaper, in fact, speculated that a bomb attack could have been motivated by anger at the country's worsening food crisis and the threat of starvation. Madden, the analyst we just quoted, also says that it could have been an attempt to steal food rather than exact revenge. He says another theory is that the explosion was staged so that a group could steal supplies off of a truck. In the West, if we want to carjack someone, we get them at a red light or maybe fake a car malfunction and flag them down from the side of the road. The tightening of security around Kim Jong-un includes the introduction of ballistic briefcases made of fiber, as we just explained. And so the question really is that was this an assassination attempt, as is being claimed by some, or was this just anger and frustration being expressed by the poor in North Korea over their condition? All right, as we end Global Lens tonight, we have some great news for our viewers. Well, it is more a celebration of a historic feat. India's golden boy Neeraj Chopra has done it again. He's won laurels for his country, brought cheer to 1.4 billion people, and in the process scripted history. Chopra has clinched the gold medal in the men's javelin throw event at the World Athletics Championships held in Budapest, Hungary. The golden boy of Indian athletics has etched his name in history by becoming the first ever Indian athlete to secure a gold medal at this prestigious championship. Displaying exceptional prowess, Neeraj Chopra recorded a stellar throw of 88.17 meters during his second attempt, solidifying his dominance throughout the event. The performance not only secured the gold medal for Neeraj, but it's also established him as a trailblazer for Indian sports on the global stage. This victory marks his second medal at the championships, having previously secured a silver medal. The 25-year-old now has gold medals in Olympics. He picked up one in the Tokyo Games in 2021, at the Asian Games in 2018 and at the Commonwealth Games in 2018, also in the Under-20 World Championships held in 2016 and the Diamond League title that he won last year. And with the latest win, Neeraj Chopra has established himself firmly as a very strong contender in the GOAT, or greatest of them all, greatest of all time race. All right, certainly great news for India. Neeraj Chopra, once again, doing us all proud. Well, that's a wrap on Global Lens. If you have been, thanks so much for watching. Do join us again tomorrow at the same time.
BrahMos, stealthy, lethal, precise. It flies at 3 times the speed of sound and cuts through a warship like a hot knife through butter. China's navy has threatened its neighbors, and they are turning to the BrahMos for protection. The warship killer. This and more.